Sitting throwing rocks across the pavement, hoping they will cave in and swallow me whole. Wondering why my mind keeps on spinning. This isn't how living to me was told. Why am I like this? Something's always amiss. Can't put my finger on it, but it's there. Wait for it to subside, but my mind won't apply. Waiting for the clear. Is it bad sometimes? I like it when I lose control. There's something.
Hi friends, welcome to another Clean with Us. Today we are taking on one of our favorite projects, helping out a new parent. Not this kitty. This is a human parent with a brand new human baby. This project is especially near and dear to our hearts because it's kind of why we got the Tidy 2 started. A few years ago, one of my friends had a baby and I went to visit and I noticed that the dishes were stacked and the laundry was overdue. And I had remembered that old phrase of when you go to visit the baby, you have to be ready to bring food or do a chore. And at that time, Lana and I were discussing what can we do to help new parents and what's okay to do, because surprise visits coming over to clean are never okay.
Not to run away.
So the foundation of the Tidy 2 started. We started thinking about these new parents, how much laundry we can get accomplished in a visit, what dishes could be done, what food could be made, and really just to help these new moms realize that they're amazing and that they are enough, and that when you visit friends, you should have the expectation to come over and help them. Basically, we wanted to normalize friends coming over to help friends, whether you have a new baby or a new job or just overwhelmed. But we're getting a little ahead. Let's introduce ourselves. I'm Lana. I'm Laura. And we're two identical twins who love to clean and tidy. And we just melt when we see baby clothes. I remember the baby state very well. Both of my girls had endless laundry. This was something that I just felt like we could never keep up with. The pile in front of the washing machine was huge. And so it's important to try to, work with families to try to help them catch up on the laundry, because it makes a huge difference. But when is it okay to do other people's laundry? When is it okay to come over? How does that all work? How you communicate with the parent or the significant other of the new parent is really important. Depending on your relationship, it might be a good idea to set this in motion before the baby comes. So basically say, would you like me to gift you a, cleaning service for a month? Would you like me to come over once a week? Again, like you said, it depends on the relationship, but I think something we can try to avoid is the surprise visits or the mother-in-law visits. I know that's kind of a stereotype, but assuming that, just because you're related or you know them, that you can come see the baby and that you can just come over and touch people's stuff. No, I would say kind of take, a different approach with it. After the baby is born, and if you haven't coordinated ahead of time, maybe call or text the mom and say, or parent or whoever, and say, I'm thinking about hiring a maid to come by so that you guys can get a little bit of a break, or I was going to come by for an hour. Does Saturday between noon and 4 work? Or kind of giving them an option, but not making them have to figure out and decide. I think when you leave it open-ended, an overwhelmed parent, they can't even process that text. It's like, if you need anything, just let me know. It's like, oh, thank you. You just gave me a job to do. And as a mom, I feel that way now. I'm still not okay with last minute visits or, surprises. It's so much better when we just communicate but give a boundary of communication, meaning, hey, this is what I'm thinking. Does this work? Instead of saying, hey, tell me what you think, because that just doesn't help anyone. What about, I don't want to say the proud parent, but maybe somebody who has trouble receiving help, whether that's because a standard has been put in front of them that they're, they have to be a perfect mom or parent and they can't receive help. How do we kind of navigate around that? I don't have all the answers, and I don't think any of us do, but, I do want to break down that stereotype of, having to be the perfect parent. The apron with the blueberry pie is just not realistic for anyone, and it actually really hurts going into motherhood when you put those standards in front of yourself, because the work is messy, and I think we need to start telling parents how messy it is and how it's going to be painful a lot of the time, but of course that it's so rewarding as well. I don't have kids, so I never feel like I have like the perfect thing to say, or I feel like I never really know what I'm supposed to do. So when I was talking to this mom and, she was mentioning that she was trying to sell her house and she had just had a baby like 2-3 weeks before, I was like, oh my gosh, I can help. I can actually help. This is something I can do. So this might be a little above what you would need to do, just coming by and doing a load of dishes or, the laundry is perfect. But because I knew that she was moving, I was like, let me get these hard to reach spots up high, down low, the baseboards. And that way she doesn't have to be on her hands and knees trying to get that all done. And I worked it out where she was going out to an appointment so that I was able to do it without disturbing her. And it just kind of worked perfect. And depending on how well you know them, you can schedule these things for when they're not home. I think it's a wonderful thing to come home to a clean house, even if you're not the one that cleaned it. And if it's not clear based on our YouTube channel, our love language is acts of service. Cleaning for others, occasionally cooking, or even just babysitting the kids. This is, what we do. We love to help others, especially our friends and family. If we're speaking a foreign concept with love languages, check this book out. This is called Love Languages. It's a very, very good book, and it kind of talks, it's extremely helpful if you have a partner or a friend or a relationship that you kind of want to understand better. And there's all these love languages, and the one that, of course, we're talking about now is acts of service. But if your love language is gift giving, maybe you come by with a pack of diapers and, some Starbucks for the new parent, something like that. So definitely check out this book, and we talk about it a lot in our videos because, again, we love to give and help others, but we also love to receive. My love language is quality time. I want someone to watch my shows with me, or just hang out and let me talk about whatever. Even though Lara did most of the work in this house, it took us a couple of times coming back to get some of these cleans done because they had a deadline of when they were putting their house on the market, and so we had to come back a couple times. On those first days, I got all the baby stuff out of the living room so that when I was dusting, it didn't all settle right where the baby was gonna lay. So it was a lot of deep cleaning, windowsills, high corners, furniture, all of that stuff. And then when Lana comes back later, we do the cool, cute stuff. We get the kitchen tidy. We end up doing a cute little tidy of the nursery. Everything with this baby is cute. I can't stop saying cute. In this video, we're going to tackle the bathroom, the kitchen, and the laundry. Like we said, we came back for multiple visits, so we actually end up doing the laundry multiple times and we end up doing the kitchen multiple times. But that's great. If you're visiting somebody often, that's awesome if you can do that. And again, this does not have to be a new parent. This could be somebody who's maybe struggling with some health issues or just had, a really rough week. We are really trying to normalize the idea of going to someone's house with their permission and doing a tidy. We say no shame cleaning, but it does require a level of vulnerability. A lot of people are allowing us into their home to, touch their personal things, to, see kind of some insight into how they're living. And this can be very hard for people. It can be hard for people to accept help in general, so don't be surprised if a new parent or whoever you're helping is like, no, thank you, that's weird. It either will take time for that person to become open to that, or they won't, and that's okay too, and there's other ways that you can help. If you could pick one chore that someone else would do for you, what chore would you pick? Put it in the comments below. I know mine. It would be laundry. And I definitely would pick the dishes. I would never, if I never had to do dishes again, that would be the best. Well, is there a thing where I can put it in the washer and dryer and you can just fold it and put it away? No, I don't want to do that either. We have a couple of really great videos where we go over some facts about mental health and cleaning. So make sure to check out our depression episode and a lot of videos. We have little tidbits because we know how important a clean home is to your mental health, but also that trying to keep a clean home can, be the demise of your mental health. So we have a couple of tips and tricks for that. I also want to highlight the idea of what happens when you have more than one kid, because I think the standards change or people's perception of your motherhood or parenthood change when you have more kids because they think you can juggle more. So when I had my second kid, it seemed like all the initial help and all those things, they were still there. They were just less intense. And so I think that we need to make sure that we're checking in on those parents of multiples and asking, can I take your kid to the park? Can we do a play day? Anything to help lighten their load so that they can focus on, recovering and, focusing on that new baby.
The point of view of this video so far has been, you're a friend and your friend has had a baby, or your relative or whoever, and you want to help out. But we can actually go a little more specific and talk about partnerships and new parenting.
Check out one of our previous videos, a 30-minute reset and how it can save your marriage, to see a little bit more about how partnerships and communication go a long way in household routines and chores. New parents, especially, mamas who just had a baby, there's a lot of hormonal changes that are happening. And sometimes when we get to this high levels of hormones, it's hard to communicate what we need and what we want. And so when we're talking to our partners, it's so vitally important that we try to pre-communicate before baby comes on what we want these expectations to look like and to revisit them often. I see a lot of parents talking about, oh, you'll feed the baby and then I'll change the baby. But when the baby actually comes, those expectations aren't necessarily being followed through with. And so it's important to revisit with your partner, hey, I'm up feeding the baby every 3 hours. I need your help. I need you to do this. And then the partner hopefully can have some empathy and go into there and say, you know what? They are doing all of these things. It's time for me to take something off their plate. A common complaint that we read about online with new parents is that my partner doesn't pull their weight and I feel like I'm doing it all. And this is something that's always stuck with me because, this goes back to those boundaries and those expectations of each other. And when we are expected to, quote, do it all, we oftentimes don't allow our partners to come in and take over because they won't do it right, or that's how we feel. And as a society, it's kind of become normalized to kind of talk down your partners because they won't do these things or they don't know how to do these things. And we really do preach no shame cleaning on both ends. The person who is the new parent and the partnership, we want to encourage and teach people and motivate people to clean and take charge of their life. And that does require really direct communication with your partner.
We're going to show you guys some really great sentence starters, some things you can say to your partner to kind of help the conversation and drive it to be more productive. But something I would feel amiss without saying is that, something you can do either for yourself, for your partner, for your family is seek mental health services. Therapy, especially for new moms, is really, really important. And having someone to talk to, not just that some sort of 6-week checkup and someone says, are you okay? Someone you can talk to more regularly is really, really beneficial. And if you have somebody that you can communicate to with your partner, then that is even more incredible.
All right. So I found an article on Psychology Today about 6 sentence starters for sensitive discussions. And I think that it's important that we share these with you so you can start framing your mind around, if I do need to talk to my partner, what is it going to sound like?
And that is going to be in the description for this video, so make sure to check it out. But what I like is this very first part. It's a whole conversation. And so it's saying, I feel, or felt, depending on the tense of what you're trying to say, I feel confused about what happened last night when you said you were going to wake up and check on the baby, and I ended up being the only one to do it. So it's saying, starting with your feelings, because that's usually what's prevalent and what's right there on your heart.
To follow that, the second sentence starter might be, my concern is. And so then we follow with, my concern is I needed a full night's sleep because I've been getting up a lot lately, and it hurt my feelings when I had to get up, even though we agreed it was your turn.
And as you've already said, how you felt, how that bothered you, what the concern was, it's kind of like, I would like to understand, where you were coming from. Or if it's not a situation like that, I'd like to understand why it's been like this for the last couple of nights, because that makes a huge difference. It's like, okay, we all make mistakes. And, maybe one time it's like, okay, he didn't wait or they didn't wake up or whatever. But if this is a reoccurring thing that's happening all the time, it has to be discussed.
This conversation isn't meant to start a resentment war between each other. It's meant to communicate ahead of time so there isn't resentment between the two of you, because you are on the same team. This is difficult, messy work, and it's going to be sometimes difficult to talk about.
And remember, everyone is sleep deprived, so please be patient with each other and, take the time to have these discussions.
It is important to plan together, even if you are feeling the short end of the stick, because sometimes partners, each of them might feel that way. To tell a partner, you need to do this, you must do this, is going to build that resentment. So instead, revisiting those expectations of, how did you feel, or what do you think about the idea of us splitting this a different way? What is something that we're both going to be able to get a good amount of sleep for? And how can I remind you to follow through? And how can you remind me to follow through?
Depending on how much you enjoy cleaning, are willing to clean, or how close you are to this person, here are some quick tips and tricks that you can use to help tidy up a home of a new parent.
Do those monotonous daily chores. Get the dishes in the dishwasher. Hand wash any pots and pans you need to do.
Absolutely get those counters cleared off and start a little laundry.
If you're feeling comfortable, scrub the toilets, make that bathroom shine.
And if there are any noticeable tripping hazards or just clutter on the floor, maybe get those into a nice pile or a tote for mom to sort later.
Sweeping and mopping goes a long way. The floor is the fifth wall of the room. So get those brooms out, mop, steam mop if you have the time, make that grime shine.
We are coming to the end of this video, and we cannot express how much that we enjoyed helping this new parent.
Bringing it all back home, this is why we started our YouTube channel. We wanted to normalize helping out friends who are struggling, whether it's new parenting, mental health, physical help. We started to call out and reach out to people and post on our social media who needs help with their lives, who wants to get control of the chaos. And so many families reached out, and that's how we got to where we are today.
With over 1,700 subscribers, we are so grateful. And remember, all the cleans that we do on our channel are completely free. The people that we're helping, we are not charging them. We just come over with their permission, asking ahead of time and scheduling, and say, hey, we're willing to clean these places, or do you have a place in your home that just brings you absolute frustration, or you hate going into a certain room? Those are the rooms we want to take on.
You do not have to share the specifics, but has there ever been a time where you knew that more hands would make that work lighter, that you needed someone to come over and help you with the chores and you just didn't know how to ask, or people didn't reach out? Put that in the comments below.
Lying here, pretty sure alone and tired of sleeping on my own. I wish your name would flash upon my phone, reminding me I'm not alone. Traps in this burning room, flames in the shape of you. You left me standing in the dark. You left my heart in two. These words were made for you, and now we're nothing but a spark. 'Cause the hardest thing I'll ever do is walk away, still loving you, but now I'm just somebody that's your love. You let me in, you spell me out your song, and I can live it out, but now I'm just somebody that's your love. Somebody that you love. Somebody that you love. Somebody that you love. Somebody that you love. You killed me deep, you counted up my scars. You found a place to leave your mark. I never thought that we would fall apart, but loving you just broke my heart.
Thank you so much for watching.
If you haven't done so, like and subscribe. Look at all these adorable babies. Look at their beautiful faces. They've liked and subscribed. You should do so too.
If the YouTube channel is not enough for you, then you can also check us out on TikTok. Our videos are kind of hilarious sometimes, and then also, of course, lots of cleaning.
But our YouTube channel's really where it's at. Check out our YouTube cleaning playlist for lots of content, every room of the house, great cleans, deep cleans, surface level cleans. Check it out.
We just want to say thank you to everyone, but especially to our subscribers. It's because of you that we're continuing to make content, and we've got some really big cleans ahead of us. Hoarders! We've asked for lots of comments throughout the video, but really and truly, we want to know,
What should we clean next?